another hard drive came to me in the mail. I was like, cool, more retro games. Let's see how this one is different. But to my surprise, this little Seagate, we get 3 different hard drives here, and they're filled with AAA games, no retro games. And so there's a smaller version, 500 gigabyte. There's a bigger version, a 2 terabyte, and a 5 terabyte, and they all have different games. Obviously, the bigger the drive, the more games it comes with. It also has an FTP site, and then it's every game from like Grand Theft Auto 5 to Forza to some of these indie games to Witcher, Crysis, and you name it. So here's a picture of the 5 terabyte drive. It doesn't look as cool. It doesn't come in a cassette. The 2 terabyte and the 5 terabytes come with the enclosure. It looks like a cassette. And they plug and play. USB 3.0 external drives. You plug them in, and then all of a sudden you have access to all these games. And there's even an FTP to get even more games. I'll talk about that later in the video. Here's what the 5 terabyte drive looks like when you plug it in and you open up Play Night, which is the software hosting the games. The way I did this video is I'm going to start by just showing you the 5 terabyte, right? That's the most expensive one. It's going to have the most games. I don't actually have any footage of the 2 terabyte, but I have the game list for the 2 terabyte. It's going to be exactly the same of how it looks and runs and everything. It's just the game list is different, so I'll show you that. And then I'll also show you the 500 gigabyte as well. And there's different price points. So we'll get started with the 5 terabyte first. In alphabetical order, it says 206 plus on the listing, but I counted 208. But you can have a look here. Bus simulator, builder simulator. Some of those simulator games, they do require you to be online. So, just in case you're curious, I played Crysis, Descenders in a different video, Cyberpunk, Cuphead, they all work. Far Cry works. Played Forza Horizon 7 earlier on this video. You'll see it at some point. And then you got Halo, Infinite, Heavy Rain, Hot Wheels Unleashed. A lot of Xbox games. Metal Dogs. You got Spider-Man, Mafia 3. Neon Abyss. Played that game before. Runs fine. Nobody Saves the World. Runs fine. Fun little like Zelda type of game. Got both Ori's, Planet Zoo, Planet Coaster, Plague, Polybridge 2. You have a lot of smaller games as well. Resident Evil 3 and 5 and 7, Resident Evil Village, and Resident Evil 2. And then we have Tomb Raider. So Satisfaction was one of those games where like you load it up. There's not a lot of modes you can play when you're not online. So like just be aware of that not every game is just 100% playable. Sniper Elite V2, Street Fighter 5, fun little game there. Subnautica, played that before. You get to explore a planet and go underwater. Tekken 7, played that before, works just fine. Okay, The Surge, Walking Dead, nice little story game that works. Tested that before. Titanfall 2, played that before. I played the Untitled Goose Game in this video, and then Battlegrounds, Tunnel of Doom. Wolfenstein played in a different video from the same. This is all from the same company, WRC8. So they're just copying and pasting a lot of this stuff. And then Yoku's Island Express. It's a fun little, pinball type game. And there's a lot of games on here. Oops. I moved over to favorites. You can move recently played and favorites. Let's go back to all. Anyways, what I was saying here is I've played the majority of the games on here. There's a lot of indie games I haven't tried out on here as well. You got Call of Duty as well. And so here you go. I just went through the games once, just, having a peek at the Grand Theft Autos as well, God of War. So whether you're into racing, you want campaign games, you want indie games, you want building games, exploration games, RPGs, it's got a little bit of everything. Even simulator games, it's got a little bit of everything here. So it's that easy. I've never updated this before. It says there's an update for Play Night. I don't know why you'd update it. It just works. Like basically all you needed to do is find the games you need. There are a few settings in here you can play around with visuals, make it look a little nicer. It does have background music. I turned mine down. And then the layout you could do, right now is just on vertical scroll. I can go ahead and switch to horizontal scroll. And so instead of left to right, or instead of up and down, you can just go left to right. and you can make the boxes smaller or bigger if you want to put more or less on your screen. But that's about it. And then there's your, it even gives you a shortcut to where the game library is located. And then you have a folder for all your games here. So that is accessible as well. Okay, so what's going on here? You have the 5 terabyte build, which is by far the most expensive. It's also going to get you the most games. And so I have that Excel sheet right here. And as you see from Alan Wake all the way down, what if I do page down here? I'll just go down a page each time. And you can see a ton of games. This is going to have the most games on it. The one I had, remember, I counted a little over 200. But I guess on here, they're also including what's... Okay, there you go, 207. That's exactly how many I had. Okay. But then as you see, it says FTP. So my understanding here is these are all available to you on their FTP as well. You can gain access to that. They give you like the instructions or email them or whatever. And they're continuously updating. So it's not actually 307. There's a couple blank lines here, but around 300. Now, there's the cheaper ones. You got the 2 terabyte at $120, and you got the 500 gigabyte at $40. And these prices might change as well. So let's go ahead and start with the 2 terabyte. And as you see here, as we go down a page, you're going to see mostly duplicates from the last one. Okay, so it only has 76 games. And then you have the FTP games here, starting here. And it looks like the FTP, it's weird. I don't know if this is right. Oh, then it jumps letters again. I think there might be a slight mistake on the on the 2 terabyte. But it looks like you're going to get a lot less games on the 2 terabyte, but you do have access to the FTP. Now on the 500 gigabyte, that's going to be a lot less games. And I showed you all those games already, but there you go. And then it also gives you some access to FTP. It looks like it gives you a different FTP because, for example, Crysis wasn't included, or the Crysis Remastered. I guess that's included on here. Yeah, it's already on the hard drive. So StarCraft 2. So I think you get access to a lot of the similar FTP games and continuously updating as well. No, you don't, right? It only goes up to 145. So you're getting a lot less games available to you, but who knows how the heck they figure out what games to give you when. The other thing I would know is people probably watching this video, especially those who are just they don't trust any of these games and downloading and connecting their computer to the internet due to viruses and things like that. I understand that, and so maybe you want to just get the ones that go on a hard drive. I mean, the other thing thinking is like these are massive downloads as well. You need to have space for them and then download them as well. So you got to keep all these things into consideration when you're considering this. All right, so there you have it. Our first game, Descendants, really cool little bicycle game. You can change your views. You could do twists in the air. You can drift. It's kind of cool. If you like bicycling, I think you'd really dig this game. I see it's running really well. I'm going to go ahead and flash up on your screen what the 500 gigabyte looks like as far as the front menu in case everyone's curious like what games are included. This is pretty much all of them. I'm also going to flash up on your screen in a moment the minimum requirements. It depends if you want to play 1080p or 1440p or 4K, depending on how you want to game on this. These games, the newer games are going to require higher specs, and then the older games can be played with lower specs. So that might also play in your decision if this is something for you. All right, this is You're a Gun. Really fun little game. You're a mech. You upgrade your weapon as you go. The controls are keyboard and mouse for the most part on that one. Where the bicycle game I was playing on an Xbox 360 controller. The wrestling game I was playing on an Xbox 360 controller. I think you can use both. Moving on to some Crysis Remastered. Keyboard and mouse here, but you can use... actually, no, I was using Xbox here. I think you can use both. And does it run Crysis? Yes, it does. And then the next game is a little indie game, mouse and keyboard. But talking about the build a little bit, these are just like those retro gaming hard drives. These companies are just, they're getting games from the internet and they're just slapping them on a hard drive. They're selling them from China, so they're able to do that. I have no affiliation with them. Like I said, I oftentimes these hard drives are just sent to me. I always put it in a computer, that's not my primary computer. That way, if there was anything on there, I wouldn't really have to worry about it. Comments on these videos, if you're not interested in this, then just don't support it. Don't do it at all. Other people are like, where I live, I can't download these things, and there's no other way to acquire these games because they're all, behind some sort of subscription paywall, or the service they offer isn't offered in my country or whatever else, right? So there's all kinds of reasons why you may or may not be interested in a product like this, but I just thought I'd check it out and see what exactly is going on here, and what are you actually getting, right? And so that's the reason for this video. Does it work? Yes, every single game I tried works. The only thing that was an issue is some of these games that require like an internet connection, you might not get the full connection, the full capabilities of it. You might only be able to play the campaign or the the single player. The multiplayer might not work. And then, or if some of the single player games require you to be like on Epic Games or something like that. And I didn't. Again, I don't want to connect this to the internet. I just kind of want to play. There's plenty of games on here that would keep me busy that I just wouldn't do that. But I think someone who really wants to play a particular game and it does have a particular online mode, I would keep that in mind. So I just played Battletoads, and you can see there, it ran great, really fun game. Xbox 360 controller on that as well. Most of these games are Xbox controlled games, the majority, and they can be as well. So back to this build, depending on which games you want, if you have a really slow broadband, things like that, you might want to go for a bigger one if this is something you want. Otherwise, go for a lower one. And then do know, just like any of my videos, a lot of these retro games and things can be found online for free. There's lots of people doing that, keeping archives up on these older games especially. And so you don't need to buy it. So, for sure, if you want to build it yourself, do all that, you can. I think a lot of people are interested in the simplicity of something like this. So there you go. Cons, I think a lot of people might want to upgrade the hard drive. But like I said, you're watching my screen, and I got zero lag in play night when I'm looking at games. I get zero lag when I'm in the game. So in my opinion, the hard drives are so cheap anyways. I would just let it go. But if you want, you can just copy over the entire hard drive to an SSD or somewhere else. That's totally up to you. So there you go. I don't think this is for everybody. I think the people that are watching this and find this intriguing, this is definitely an option for you. There's the 3 different sizes, 3 different price points, and then the 3 different, game lists, and then different FTP access per one. So there you have it. An interesting development there, but it's basically like a retro gaming hard drive for your PC. That's what I think. Let me know what y'all think. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.